For weeks, the world had been plunged into collective silence as reports surrounding actor Shukai's near-fatal plane crash dominated headlines. The beloved Chinese star, known for his charm, poise, and deeply emotional performances, was left fighting for his life in the ICU after the tragic accident that shook fans across continents. The entertainment industry was thrown into turmoil, co-stars were seen breaking down, devoted fans organized candlelight vigils, and entire social media platforms flooded with hashtags praying for his recovery. But amid the chaos, a single voice rose above the noise, a trembling, yet resolute voice that carried decades of love, pain, and unspoken truths. That voice belonged to Shukai's mother. When she finally appeared before cameras, the world held its breath. Her words didn't just address her son's condition, they rewrote the entire narrative of what people thought they knew about Shukai, his struggles, and the choices that led to this tragic moment. What started as an emotional plea quickly evolved into one of the most powerful, heartbreaking, and revealing confessions in the history of Chinese entertainment. For days, reporters had camped outside the hospital, waiting for any sign of hope. The whispers of Shukai's worsening condition were unbearable. Fans worldwide were glued to their screens, desperate for an update. And then, the hospital doors opened, not for a doctor, but for his mother, a quiet woman who had always remained in the shadows of her son's dazzling fame. She stood there in a simple beige coat, her eyes swollen from sleepless nights, her trembling hands clutching a framed photo of Shukai as a child. When she spoke, her voice broke, but her message was crystal clear. "The world loves my son," she began softly. "But few truly knew him, and even fewer knew the pain he carried." Her words sent a wave of silence across the press room. Cameras flashed, but no one dared interrupt her. She went on to share stories from Shukai's early life, his quiet personality, his humble beginnings, his constant desire to make her proud. "He was always chasing something," she whispered. "Not fame, not money, but peace. He worked so hard to make everyone happy that he forgot to take care of himself." Then came the first shock of the day. Shukai's mother revealed that, in the weeks leading up to the crash, her son had been under tremendous emotional pressure. The combination of back-to-back filming schedules, intense public scrutiny, and ongoing personal issues had taken a toll on him. "He hadn't slept properly in days," she confessed. "I told him to rest, but he said he couldn't disappoint his fans. He said they gave him strength." Her voice cracked as tears streamed down her cheeks. "I wish I had insisted more," she whispered. "Maybe if I had made him stop, he would have never been on that flight." Her confession struck a chord deep within the hearts of fans. Across social media, people began revisiting Shukai's recent interviews and live appearances, suddenly noticing the exhaustion in his eyes, the forced smiles, and the weight behind his words. But what she said next was what truly changed everything. As the room fell completely silent, Shukai's mother took a deep breath and looked straight into the cameras. "There is something I have hidden for years," she said. "Something I believe the world deserves to know now." She paused, her fingers tightening around the photograph. Shukai didn't become an actor by chance. He became one to fulfill a promise to his father. That statement immediately sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. Shukai had always spoken little about his family background. His father had passed away when he was very young, and the few mentions in interviews were always brief, almost guarded. But his mother's revelation opened a window into a part of Shukai's life that had long remained sealed. According to her, Shukai's father had once dreamed of being a performer but gave up his aspirations to provide for his family. Before he passed away, he made Shukai promise one thing, that he would live the dream his father couldn't. "He was only 10, she said, her voice trembling. He didn't understand the weight of that promise then. But as he grew older, he carried it like a sacred duty. That promise became both Shukai's greatest motivation and his deepest burden." His mother admitted that she sometimes saw how torn he was between personal happiness and professional duty. He would say, "Mom, I can't stop now. Dad is watching." He felt like every success was his father's dream being fulfilled through him. Suddenly, everything about Shukai's tireless work ethic, his perfectionism, his humility, even his quiet sadness, made sense. The public saw a charming, confident actor, but behind the camera was a man who never allowed himself to rest, afraid that stopping meant breaking a sacred vow. The emotional confession didn't end there. Shukai's mother went on to reveal that her son had been planning something special before the tragic crash, a secret project dedicated to his late father. The project, tentatively titled The Promise, was to be a film blending his real-life experiences with fictional storytelling, exploring the themes of duty, loss, and love between a father and son. He wanted to tell his story, she said softly. Not for fame, not for money, but for healing. Her voice wavered. The night before his flight, he called me. He said, "Mom, after this, I'll finally rest. I just want to make Dad proud one last time." Those words became unbearable for the millions listening. Fans around the world began sharing that quote as a symbol of Shukai's unwavering dedication and love for his family. The hashtag #MakeDadProud trended for days, uniting fans, actors, and even producers who had worked with him in expressing their admiration and grief. In her closing statement, Shukai's mother looked directly into the lens and said something that would echo for generations of fans. "My son lived for love, for family, for his fans. And even now, as he fights for his life, I know he's still holding on to that promise. Please, keep him in your prayers. He's still listening." Within hours, the emotional video went viral, amassing millions of views. Fans around the world lit candles, shared his old interviews, and wrote letters expressing their support. Streets in Beijing, Seoul, and even Los Angeles saw spontaneous gatherings of fans holding posters that read, "We're with you, Shukai." Industry colleagues began speaking out as well. Tan Songyun, his longtime co-star and rumored close friend, posted a tearful message online saying, "He's the kindest soul I've ever known. He carries everyone's pain quietly, but now it's our turn to carry him." Others shared unseen moments from behind the scenes, videos of Shukai comforting anxious staff members, staying late to help extras rehearse their lines, or sharing heartfelt advice with younger actors. The world began to realize that Shukai was more than just a star. He was a symbol of dedication, humility, and quiet strength. The confession from his mother didn't just humanize him, it transformed the public's understanding of the man behind the spotlight. It reminded everyone that even the brightest stars have shadows, and even the strongest hearts need rest. In the days following Shukai's mother's heartfelt confession, the entire entertainment world seemed to pause. Every word she spoke continued to echo across timelines, and fans clung to hope with renewed faith. Hospitals received flowers and handwritten notes from all corners of the world, some in Chinese, some in Korean, some in English, but all carrying the same message: "Wake up, Shukai. The world still needs you." Inside the hospital, the atmosphere had shifted. What was once a cold, silent corridor now pulsed with quiet strength. Nurses played his drama soundtracks softly near his room, as though his own art could guide him back. And each morning, his mother would sit by his bedside, holding his hand, whispering stories of his fans' endless love. The confession had indeed changed everything. It transformed grief into purpose, despair into devotion. Even those who had never followed Shukai's career found themselves drawn into his story, a story of promise, love, and unyielding will. Social media became a sea of heartfelt letters and artworks. Some fans began raising funds to build a memorial garden in his hometown, while others volunteered at hospitals in his name, calling it the Shukai Kindness Project. But one moment stood out among them all, a viral clip shared from Shukai's mother a week after her first statement. In it, she appeared smiling faintly, her eyes shimmering with both fatigue and hope. "He moved his hand," she whispered tearfully. "My boy heard me." The clip spread faster than any news outlet could handle. The world erupted in joy. Hashtags like #ShukaiAwakens and #KeepThePromise topped the trends within hours. Fans posted videos of themselves crying, praying, and celebrating. And as if guided by fate, clips of Shukai's most emotional roles resurfaced, his voice, his gaze, his gentle smile, reminding everyone why they had fallen in love with him in the first place. Tan Songyun, who had remained by his side since the crash, shared a message that melted hearts worldwide. "He's still fighting, just like he always has. And I believe he'll come back stronger, for his fans, for his mother, and for the promise that started it all." Those words carried weight. They weren't just words of comfort, they were a declaration of hope. Shukai's story was no longer a tragedy, it had become a movement. His mother's confession didn't just open hearts, it united them. People who had never met became family through shared faith in his recovery. Fans began calling themselves the Promises, a name inspired by the vow Shukai made to his father and the unbreakable bond he shared with his fans. Now, as lights continue to shine at global vigils and voices still rise in nightly prayers, one truth remains: Shukai's story is more than a celebrity tale. It's a reminder of humanity, love, and endurance. He showed the world that behind fame lies fragility, and behind every strong man stands a mother's love that defies everything, even time and fate. And as the world continues to wait, hearts beating as one, every fan whispers the same words his mother once said through tears. We're still keeping the promise, Shukai. Cherry Blossom, join the story. Feel the emotion. Keep the promise. Cherry Blossom. If Shukai's journey has touched your heart, don't miss a single update. White right pointing backhand index. Subscribe to K-Drama Whispers for exclusive emotional stories, deep insights, and touching moments from the world of your favorite stars. Speech balloon, turn on the notification bell and become part of a global community that celebrates love, resilience, and the human spirit behind every K-drama legend. Sparkles, because here at K-Drama Whispers, every story breathes, every tear speaks, and every heart remembers.